Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a favorite the game prompt as well as give the player a reward for it. So here I have a favorite the game for 500 coins button. Let's click on that. Do you want to access items? Yes. Do we want to add this to our favorites? Yes. And once we do that, we see the panel closes and we get 500 coins just like that. And the system also data saves. So if you want to learn how to do this, stick around for the tutorial. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is actually create the UI for this. So what I'm going to do is just insert a new screen UI. As usual, turn on ignore GUI inset, turn off reset spawn, and I'm just going to make a new text button and name this favorite. And I'm going to change up some of the settings. So for the position, I'm going to go with the 0.1, 0, 0.5, 0, and we will set the anchor point to 0.5, and I meant 0.01, sorry, so 0.01 there. For the size, let's go with the 0.209, 0, 0.053, 0, just like that. So it is a long button. I'm going to make the text say favorite the game for 500 coins, just like that. And I'm just going to customize the font here. And I think that looks good. And I'm just going to add in a UI corner and a UI stroke just to make this look a bit more nice. So UI corner 0.10 and UI stroke border, and I'll set the 3.5. Awesome. So now that we have made the button, let's actually start off by actually coding the favoriting system. But before we do that, we actually need to update a couple settings in our game. So let's go over to the game settings and the security. And I usually just check all the boxes because in all my games I need to. But if you're really interested in which ones you actually need to do, I think it's just the first two. So you can just select those. I'm just going to select all of them and I'm going to hit save. Awesome. So now that we've done that, we can actually start coding this. So what I'm going to do is go inside of the starter player scripts, insert a new local script, and we can get coding right away. So we need a couple of services. So we need the avatar editor service zero load game get service avatar editor service. I'm just going to copy and paste that just in case I didn't do any typos. We need the players service. Oops. Get service players, and we need the replicated storage, which is going to be game get service replicated storage. Once we've done that, we need to get some of the UI. So local player players.local player. Sorry, players.local player. Local player GUI is player wait for child player GUI. Just one eye. Local UI is going to be player GUI, wait for child, screen GUI, which is what we named it right there. And local button is going to be UI.favorite, which is going to be this button right here. Now that we've done that, we need to get some constant variables. So local asset ID, so this is something that we need to pass through in the method that we will call from the avatar editor service. So asset ID is just going to be the game.place ID, and we will get the item type, which is going to be an enum.avatar item type.asset, just like that. Once we've done that, we need to create a flag. So what I'm going to do is say local already rewarded is equal to false. So we have this, so we don't we're preventing any repeated rewards. So if they already favorite it and they keep on favoriting the game, they don't get like 1,000 coins, for example. Awesome. Now that we've done that, we actually need to set up the button handler. So we'll say button mouse button one click :connect function. And we are first going to make a method for this. And this is going to be called check favorite. So local function check favorite. That'll take no argument. So we want to check to see if the player already favorited the game. So we're going to say if not, and then actually we need to create another method for this. But what I will do is just say local success is favorited is equal to pcall function, and we'll say return avatar editor service colon get favorite. We'll pass through the asset ID and the item type, which we have up here. And then we'll say if not success, then we'll just warn failed to check favorite status. And we will just return is favorited, just like that. So now that we have the check favorite, we actually have to create another method for this. And the method is going to be called hasInventoryAccess. Now, why do we need this method? So there's a really important reason as to why we need this method. So in Roblox, when you create a profile, you can choose to show your avatar items or not to choose your avatar items. So for the people who allow it to be public, so like, for example, my profile, you can see what I own, the favoriting system will work perfectly because Roblox can actually see if you favorited the game or not in order to, take out the privacy risks. And so that's all great. But some people decide to have it private. And if it's private, actually, we cannot check if the user has it favorited. So instead of asking the user to leave and do it on their own, we're actually going to make a prompt that lets them to let us read their access for a temporary time. So this will attract more favorites, all in all. So in this function, what we're going to do is make another pcall. So local success has permission pcall function. We're going to say return avatar editor service colon prompt allow inventory read access. So it's a long method. So we're going to prompt this, and we're just going to return success and has permission. Awesome. So now that we've done that, we can actually go back to our check favorite, and we'll say if not has inventory access, then we will warn. We'll say player did not grant permission to read their inventory, just like that. And we're just going to return false and end the function right here. And we can continue on. So we're first going to check if we have inventory access. If we do, we'll do all this. Awesome. So now that we've done that, we can actually just come up here and say if check favorite or already rewarded, then return end. So if they already favorited it or we have already rewarded in here, we're just going to return end. And we want to prompt the user to favorite. So let's create another method for that. We'll call it prompt favorite, and we'll say pcall function avatar editor service prompt set favorite asset ID item type, and we want to pass through true for should favorite. So once we have done that, it's a very simple function. We can just come right here and just say prompt favorite, just like that. And so that's it for the majority of the script. We need to do one more, which is check the rest of the prompt. So what we're going to say is avatar editor service prompt set favorite completed connect function. This will take in a result, which we can assert its type to enum that avatar prompt result. Now, if the result is not equal to enum.avatar prompt result permission denied. So as you may have seen, there's three things that can happen: success, permission denied, or failed. So failed, there's many different ways that it could fail. Permission denied means they literally clicked no. So we're going to check if that did not happen, and success means it's success, of course. So permission denied or not, already rewarded, then we'll say already rewarded to true to keep that local storage. And now we're just going to call off a remote event. So I'm just going to go into replicate storage, new remote event. I'll call it favorited game. Let's just copy that name, and we'll say replicated storage, wait for child, favorite game, fire server. and no arguments need to be passed. Perfect. So now that we've done that, we can start coding this in the server side. So what I'm going to do is just go into server script service, new script, and we'll just get coding. So here we need 3 services. So let's get the replicated storage, which we will get like that. Let's get the players service. So game get service players. And we need the data store service. Oops, get service, data store service, just like that. Now the reason we need data store service is so we can save whether the player has favorited the game or not, and we can ensure they only get the reward once. So we can stop people who like favorite the game, get the reward, unfavorite the game, and then favorite it, get the reward, and do that over and over. That's why we have the server data store. After that, let's just get our data store. So local reward store, data store service, get data store, and let's just pass through, I'll just say ds1. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to cut that and just say local reward store, and I'm going to say if game.is, or sorry, we actually need to get the run service for this. So let me get the run service like that. I'm going to say if run service on is studio, then I want to set the reward store to testing, and else we will set it to production. So let me just copy and paste that just like that. Now the reason I'm doing this is so in studio when we're testing we'll have a different data store, and in the actual game we'll have a different data store. That's all. But you don't need to do that. You can just set one data store for everything up here. Once we've done that, let's create a new table. So local player data as a new table, and let's start coding. So what I'm going to do first is actually create the coins stat, to give them 500 coins. So players.player added connect function, take a player as a player. Local leader stats is instance.new folder in the player. Leader stats .name is leader stats. Local coins is instance.new number value, and we'll set the parent to leader stats. Coins.name is coins. Coins.value 0. And now we'll set up the data store. So local user ID is player.user ID. Local key is favorited underscore dot user ID. Local success data is pcall function. Oops. And we'll just say return reward store get async key. If it was a success, then we'll say player data user ID is equal to has favorited is equal to data if it's true. So we want to make sure that it's a boolean. Now else, if it wasn't a success, we'll just warn, and we'll just say failed to load data for player player.name, and we'll just set the table to be false, as favorited to false, just like that. After that, let's do the player removing part of this. So player removing connect function player as a player. Local user ID is player.user ID. Local key is favorited. Just in case, I'm just going to copy this line, paste it there. Local data is player data, and that's the user ID. If we have some data, then pcall function, we will say reward store set async key and data that has favorited, and we'll just set the player data user ID to nil when they leave. So now that we have set up all the data, so to save whether they favorited the game or not, we're going to handle that favorited event that we fired right here. So we'll say replicated storage favorite game on server event connect function. We'll still take a player from the client as a player. And what I'll do is just copy these lines. We don't need the key. This should be good. We'll say if not data or data that has favorited, then we'll just print player.name dot already claimed the favorite reward, and we'll just return just like that. Once we've done that, we'll just give the reward because we know they've never claimed it before. So local coins is equal to player find first child leader stats, and player dot leader stats find first child coins. So this is protective of whether it's in the game or not. If we have coins, then we will just add 500 to it. We will say data has favorited true and print player.name favorited the game and received 500 coins, just like that. And that is it for the scripts. So what I'm going to do is just save the game and test this out. So we're in the game, all good, 0 coins. Let's favorite the game for 500. So I did not grant permission, so would we like to do it? Yes, okay. Do you want to add game to your favorites? Let's hit no and see what happens. It says, okay. So it says that we favorited the game and received 500 coins. So that is incorrect. So let me try to fix this bug and I'll come back to you in a second. Alright, so I did figure out the fix. So I actually made a bit of a logic mistake. So let's go back into the client and notice how we have already rewarded false. Let's scroll down here. On line 52 for me, so right here, we check if the result is not equal to enum.avatar prompt result.permission denied or not already redeemed. It should not be or, right? Because we're setting not already rewarded. Well, it's not, so we're just going to do it. That's incorrect. We should set this to and. So this may be true, but this is not, right? So we need to set this to and. So now what we'll do is save the game and let's test this out. I reset the data source, so everything should work. So favorite the game for 500 coins. Okay, let's hit no. Nothing happens. Perfect. Let's click this again. Do we want to add it? Let's hit yes. We got our 500 coins. We favorited the game. Perfect. So now let me leave the game and I'm going to rejoin the game just like that. And of course the coins didn't save. We didn't have that as in our data store. Let's click this. We'd like to favorite. Okay, let's add it to our favorites. We don't get any coins because we've already claimed the reward. But yeah guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!